So I am thrilled to be able to introduce Vish Mishra. I have known Vish since I started doing entrepreneurship in the Valley over 20 years ago. In fact, I don't know how many companies I've pitched to him at several different VC organizations. And you know what I want to say about Vish, I mean, he's a man of many accomplishments, and you can read about all those accomplishments online. He has received many honors. He helped shape Silicon Valley. He is a devoted family man, and he has done an incredible amount of work to bring together different parts of the world and different parts of the community. I just learned recently how much philanthropic work he's done. But what I know about Vish personally is two things. One of them is that Vish is a really nice person. So, and I mean, I know a lot of VCs, and many of them are nice people, but they can't always be nice in their professional role. And Vish is someone who has always managed to have his goodness and his caring for people come through, even when he's giving you his very honest opinion about what you've just presented to him. And I think that's a rare skill, and it's part of what has made Vish such an influence in the Valley over the last 40 years. And the other thing I know about Vish is that he likes baseball. So on that note, Vish, please.
Thank you, Debbie. May I borrow your lapel mic, please, if you don't mind? Thank you.
Yes. That's because they thought I had to steal my shirt. Yeah. So let's get you. Give us a second here, folks. Yeah. Get you all the way up there. There you go. I'll let you do the rest of this. Absolutely. Sorry about that.
Yeah, we're doing this one. Thank you. Yep, okay, great. Thank you very much. Okay, well, Debbie, thank you so much. Oh, thank you so much for that generous, very, very generous introduction. I'm really touched. And last night, Debbie called me, and she surprised me. She says, well, you know, you got to go first, because Amy Pressman is not here. So I said, wait a minute. I'm a very lousy substitute for Amy Pressman. Okay, if you guys don't know about Amy, she just had a blockbuster IPO just last month, and she and her husband, they built an amazing, business. He's one of those unicorns, venture-backed, went public. But so I had to. She told me that now I have to say different things. So I had to compose my notes a little bit because I was going to talk about a different topic. So I'm going to now have for her guidance. So please bear with me. If I consult my note over here and don't make eye contact with you, don't feel bad, because my heart and my mind is with you, okay? So you're all there. So I just feel, just looking at all of you in this room, I just feel so comfortable in your presence. I really do, because I looked at the profile. 75% of you have declared that you are an investor. And the other 25% of you have declared that you are entrepreneurs. So guess what? There's a lot of money in this room. So I believe that every entrepreneur who is here today, including the F50 elevated people now, okay, if you can't get funded today, that something is wrong. So much money is in this room. So please grab an entrepreneur. If you're an investor, grab one. If you're an entrepreneur, grab one or two or three investors, and just go at it, okay? So this is really good. Now, the other thing is that with so many investors, no wonder it's been called Global Capital Summit. Global Capital Summit. There's a lot of capital in this room. So, and the theme for the conference is also very apt. It talks about impacting 1 billion lives. Impacting 1 billion lives. Just think about it. So now, I see, so who is the one who is impacting those 1 billion lives? Who is it? It's you, the entrepreneurs and the investors who back them. It's just that simple, okay? It's the entrepreneurs and the investors who back them. They are the ones who impact billion lives. So in my career, having been a mentor, advisor, and investor for so many years, and having seen countless number of entrepreneurs, one thing that I always come to ask the entrepreneurs is one question. Why do you want to be an entrepreneur? Why? Why do you want to be an entrepreneur? And believe me, I get so many answers. And in my view, looking at over the years, there are so many wrong answers to that question. So many wrong answers to the question. The answers are, what I hear, well, I want to change the world. Okay, well, you haven't changed your house or neighborhood, you want to change the world. Okay, great. I want to kill the competition. Well, very profound statement. I want to get rich. I want to get very rich. And I want to be like whatever company you can think of. These are all wrong answers. The only right answer, in my opinion, in my view, has been over the years. If you want to be an entrepreneur, the reason you want to be an entrepreneur because you want to uplift other people's lives. Whatever you create, you don't consume. Whatever you produce, you don't consume. Somebody else consumes. Somebody else uses your product, your service. So just think about it for a second and really be very good about that. Do you really want to impact other people's lives? And if you have that clear in your head, I believe you, I guarantee you, you'll be more successful, both as entrepreneurs and those of you who are investors who want to back these people. It's just that simple. But a lot of people, they just don't get it. They just don't get it. So, uplifting other people's lives. You as an entrepreneur, you can choose. How many lives do you want to uplift? And whose lives? It's just, those are the two questions. So a woman who opens a boutique store, let's say in downtown Palo Alto, University Avenue, and she says, I want to dress 1,000 women a year, and I want them to feel good about themselves. And I want to employ 5 people. Or an auto mechanic who used to work at a Mercedes dealer, he said, I want to strike out my own, and I want to service 1,000 cars, and I want to feel good that my customers are happy, and I want to employ 5 more mechanics. So from those kind of entrepreneurs to those people who build, Amazon and Apple and Google and Facebook, and your list goes on and on. They're all entrepreneurs in their own right. So the question is, whose lives you want to impact, and how many lives you want to impact. It's okay. It's okay to be content with your own view. So a builder who builds low-income housing versus a builder who builds mansions, they're both entrepreneurs. It's not a question of why are they building mansions and not building low-income housing. No. If that gives them satisfaction, that gives them joy, they uplift the people's lives, that's fine. So this is something that I really believe is a core to really being a good entrepreneur and also core to being a good investor. So now, how do you tell the story? I tell the entrepreneurs, they'll come to me, well, let me give you a demo. I said, no. You got a computer science degree, master's from Stanford or Berkeley or you name a good school. I know you can write code. I'm not interested in seeing a demo. I said, tell me your story. I said, turn off your laptop, just tell me a story. And I said, well, okay, where do I begin? I said, let me tell you, let me give you guidance. I want you to tell the story in this logical fashion. There's only 5 elements to a story. The first and foremost is, whose pressing problem you want to address. Second one is, how is that problem being addressed today? Third is, what is your approach to addressing the problem? Fourth is, what does it take to build the business? And the fifth is, what did it bring in? 5 elements. It could be 10 slides. It could be 10 minutes. And investors in the room, basically, they will determine in 10 minutes, they will give 1 hour to meet with you and listen to your story, but in 10 minutes, they've decided, do I really want to invite this entrepreneur back for my next meeting or not? So the number one goal that you have in that meeting, when you get introduced to an investor and going and telling your story, to secure the next meeting. Because if you have not secured the next meeting, you just have not done well. So let me just elaborate on those 5 elements. It will take about a couple minutes. The first is, what is the pressing problem? You know, in society, if there's a big pressing problem, believe me, people say, if some can only solve my problem, I'm willing to spend money, I'm willing to use the product, okay? I'm really frustrated. And that's what you have to do. So I ask entrepreneurs, so what is the one single pressing problem you're trying to address? And so many people, they haven't, well, I read the report by Gartner, or I just saw this thing. So, you know, that's a shallow definition of your problem. Have you really internalized the problem yourself? Have you really felt the pain? Because if you have felt the pain, you will come up with a solution. The second thing is, if there's a pressing problem in the society, believe me, there's somebody already trying to address the problem. You as an entrepreneur, you may not know about it. You even as an investor may not know about it. So I like to address, I say, go ahead and find out who are the half a dozen or so people trying to address the problem that you're trying to address. It's called competition in business school jargon. So basically, if the big hairy problem pressing need, somebody trying to satisfy it. So you have to identify that to us in your plan. Then third is, what is your approach to address the problem? And why is it far superior? Because if your approach is not far superior, people are not going to switch whatever they're using as a product or service, they're not going to go use your solution. So you have to really stand out. You really have to really do a much better job at that. The fourth element is, what does it take to build a business? What does it take to build a business? Start with you. Who are you? What are you good at? What are you not good at? Come to grips with it. Nobody is perfect. Nobody's business plan is perfect in the world. So you just have to be really close to yourself. So this is who I am. That's what I think I want to do. And this is how I want to, address the problem. And then, how much capital does it take? What does it take to build a business? Capital. Get the investor indication that it's going to take 10 million, 20, 30, 40, 50 million dollars capital. Not how much capital you want to raise today, but how much total capital the business will require. And the last thing is, what does it bring in? Revenue and profit. You have to make a projection. And the idea about projection is not that someone wants to hold your feet to the fire to the projection, but just to know how you think. What are the assumptions? How have you validated? And if you can just nail those 5 things down, you really are in a good situation. Good step, okay. Are you giving a boot or what? Yeah. Okay, all right, okay.
No, but he's
so the last thing, the good news is that there's so much capital available, so much. Last year, globally, there were close to $200 billion got invested. This year, we are on the track. And a lot of impact investing is also taking place. Governments are involved. A lot of nonprofit organizations are involved. So there's plenty of capital. So all I'm saying right now here, the Global Capital Summit, congratulations for having me over here. Congratulations for convening this conference. And good luck to all of you. So go start a company, get it funded, and uplift other people's lives. Thank you very much.
Great. Thank you. This is one of the...